The film starts with a young woman named Becky showing to be trapped in the cube. Each room is brightly lit with 6 panels on each side, which are doors to other rooms. She enters another room, but unknown to her, the room has reversed gravity as she is pulled up. Next we see an old man who is frustrated that he can't find the numbers on door and gets angry. In another room, a woman named Kate finds someone unconscious and goes to wake him up. He grabs her and tells his name is Simon and asks her if she is alone. She blinks her eye to say yes. Suddenly they see someone has opened the door and is moving quickly between the doors. Kate goes after him, but he enters a different room and disappears. Kate goes back to Simon's room, but realizes this isn't the same room. She goes to a different room to find a blind girl named Sasha, who seems scared, so Kate comforts her.
Geraint enters their room, who marks the room with his watch, and tells them he has been roaming around these rooms for hours.
They hear some noise and feel scared and decide to leave the room. In the next room, we see the same old man hanging and suffocating, and a young boy Max helping him get free. They go to help him, and Simon has also come in same room and helps them save the old man. They check his ID to find his name is Colonel Thomas, who works for the military, and he was badly tortured also.
An old woman named Paley also enters the room, but she talks some nonsense stuff and we see that she is crazy. While talking with each other, they realize that the rooms repeat themselves in a loop. The old man wakes up and tells them they need to find the code in order to escape from here. Max tries to escape the room, but an invisible energy stops him and he falls down. An invisible wall begins to start moving towards them and looks dangerous. The group decide to escape the room while Thomas stays behind and handcuffs himself. Kate decides to help Thomas and notices that the wall is destroying everything in its path. She decides to escape the room and sees herself from other door. Thomas is killed by the wall. They escape to different rooms to escape the wall, and Jerry keeps marking the walls. Later Jerry tells everyone that he has designed the panels of the room and all seem angry on him. He says that he didn't know their purpose and worked as a freelancer, and based on rumors, this place is using quantum teleportation. Everyone is surprised to hear this and cannot believe this and feels Jerry is lying. Paley sees a drawing and realizes that they may be in a tesseract or a hypercube. Jerry makes a drawing to explain everyone what a hypercube is and says it has 4 dimensions. Max thinks they are all in a game show and all people here are participants. Jerry sees the number 60,659 written on a top door and feels there might be hundreds of rooms here. Max opens a new door and sees a woman in red dress lying on the ground. He goes in the room and realizes that the gravity is different here. The girl introduces herself as Julia to all and asks if she is kidnapped. Kate asks everyone what they remember last before waking up. Jerry says he is an engineer. Kate says she is a psychotherapist. Simon says he is a consultant and Max says he is a game designer. Sasha says she is a student. Paley says she walking her dog and Julia says she is an attorney. Kate feels there must have something in common and suddenly sees the number 60,659 again written on a door. Simon finds a watch and Jerry realizes that this watch is same as his own watch. Paley opens a door and sees an unconscious man lying on the floor. They all go to check the person and find some calculations written on his body. Paley realizes that the person is Dr. Phil Rosen, who is a physicist. Kate checks him and finds he is dead and searches his body for a pen. They all see more calculations on a wall, and the number 60,659 again. Kate uses the pen and writes the number on her hand. Paley tells everyone that she is a retired mathematician and used to work at Izon. Everyone comes to know that Izon is a weapons manufacturer company. Paley says that she worked with Alex Trusk, who is a hacker, and everyone feels he is a legend and doesn't exist. Paley opens a panel to reveal her being killed by Simon,
who is decapitated soon after by crystal beams.
Jerry theorizes that it is a parallel universe and there are alternate versions of everyone here.
He says this also explains the identical watch they found earlier, but Max and Julia think it is an optical illusion.
Simon is scared and threatens everyone with a knife, saying that no one will open the door because the other people might come inside and kill them.
They decide to move ahead, and later they sleep to get some rest. Simon tells Jerry that he is a private investigator and is looking for a girl named Becky. Becky works at Izon. She is the one we saw at start of movie. Sasha detects a sound in the room and wakes the entire group from sleep. In the midst of the room, they discover a peculiar floating square, which morphs into various iterations of a tesseract before evolving into a swiftly rotating, perilous structure. Desperately, the group start running away from it, but Jerry is injured by the cube. Everyone starts to leave the room, but Jerry is caught in the square and sustains injuries, and ultimately succumbs to the tesseract's lethal blades. As the square expands at an alarming rate, Sasha is left behind and Kate decides to rescue her. Through swift action, they manage to evade the tesseract's deadly embrace by huddling in a corner unreachable by its reach.
Kate realizes it responds to their movement and they decide to stay still.
The square weapon reverts to its original state and vanishes, leaving Sasha and Kate separated from the rest of the group. Simon is starting to suspect that Mrs. Paley is an undercover spy, so he gags her and ties her up. Suddenly, they see crystal beams start protruding from the walls. Simon tries to save Mrs. Paley, but Paley refuses to let him go, so he stabs her with his knife. Max and Julia, disturbed that Simon killed Mrs. Paley, leave and abandon him. They run in a room where time is moving differently than other rooms.
Kate is still trying to figure out the logic behind the numbers, and we see Julia is in a room where time is moving very fast.
Simon meets alternate version of Jerry, who does not remember anyone from the group. Simon now believes that there are alternate versions of themselves in this place.
Kate and Sasha come in the room where they find dead people who are alternate versions of all the people in the group.
While talking to Julia, Max tells he made a game which had similar rooms which had time manipulations in them, but the game got in a lawsuit. Julia tells Max she is the attorney who filed the lawsuit, and they realize they are all connected with Izon. Simon is alone and hungry and goes insane. He keeps finding alternate versions of Jerry and keeps killing him and collecting his watches. Sasha reveals to Kate that she is Alex Trusk, a computer hacker who is responsible for the creation of the Tesseract. She says when she discovered that Izon was putting people inside the Tesseract, she tried to stop their operation. They tried to stop her and kill her, so she came to Hypercube to hide here, believing they won't look for her here. Max and Julia begin to develop romantic feelings for each other and have sex. They are unaware that they are in a room that has zero gravity and time dilated. They age rapidly and eventually die. Simon finds Becky and kills her also as he has gone insane. Kate sees the old man from before hanging in a room and Max and Julia's floating bodies in another. They escape in a room where Kate sees all realities are merging in on each other. Sasha tells Kate that time and space are distorted where they are, that the Tesseract will implode and reality is collapsing. In one of the door, Kate finds Simon and stabs him in the eye after he grabs her. When she turns around, she finds Simon behind Alex, aged and blind in one eye, proving Alex's space-time theory. Alex claims that they are all dead, which causes Simon to twist her neck, believing that if they are all dead that it would not really matter if he kills her now. Kate tries to escape and finds herself in a loop and attacks Simon. She stabs Simon in the leg with his knife and punches him in his throat, killing him. She looks at the multiple duplicates of Jerry's watch on Simon's hand and realizes that 60659 is the time that the Tesseract will implode. 6 hours, 6 minutes, and 59 seconds. She sees the hypercube is shrinking, so she takes Alex's necklace, which is filled with confidential information on Izon. As the hypercube begins to deteriorate, Kate acts swiftly, uncovering a concealed panel at its base, exposing bottomless void of darkness. With seconds ticking away, at precisely 6 hours, 6 minutes, and 59 seconds, she plunges into the abyss just as the hypercube collapses upon itself. Kate awakens to find herself in the custody of Izon authorities, disoriented within the confines of an unfamiliar factory. They welcome her, and it seems that Kate was working with Izon. She surrenders the necklace to them, but due to commitment to secrecy, one of the Izon soldier mercilessly ends her life with a fatal shot to the head. They get a phone call where an Izon authority reports that Phase 2 is terminated, and the operatives leave the facility.